Hi there, Serial Trader here. It's been a while since I saw anything compelling enough to put out a video, but I'm starting to see some things that I think are worth sharing. So I'll probably do a bunch of stuff over the weekend, some updates and whatnot. But right now, I just want to focus on Bitcoin in particular and a couple different scenarios I'm looking at that both kind of point, at least on a short term basis, to the same kind of message. So we obviously put in some sort of significant top here, close to 65,000. And here on the Bitfinex chart, it was 64,829, and that was on April 14th. Now, here is a tentative labeling scheme from the top, and this would be where we have a 1, ABC up and 2. Now, I haven't shown all the subdivisions here. I've only shown the subdivisions that I want to focus on. But the larger degree labels are certainly here. So 1, 2, and then maybe we got a 1, 2, 3, and then in this very sharp bar, if you go in on a small enough time frame, you could eke out an ugly subdivision, for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 3, although it's certainly not ideal by any stretch. Now, let's focus on the things that are confident here, and that is that we have a triangle here, a nice A, B, C, D, E contracting triangle, and the implication of that was to resolve in a thrust downwards to finish the move of whatever this pattern is, whether it's an impulse wave, or I'll get to my other kind of viable scenario that I'm looking at in a moment here. And it looks like within this last leg down, we got a 1, 2. Now, you could get a 3, 4, 5 and call it complete already, although I don't like the proportion if you did that on the smaller time frame, because this wave 2 consumed a certain amount of time and price, and you'd like to see the wave 4 ideally at least rival that, if not exceed that. And this looks better as long as we don't go up too far here to invalidate. I like the idea that we might have another leg down here in wave 5 of C, or sorry, in wave 5 of 5. And I mean, the minimum expectation, unless you get a truncated low, which would just be a failure to make a new low, a double bottom. But absent that, the implication would be at least taking out the 47,560 low here. And maybe it was stabbed down, let's just say around 45, 46,000 if it took a typical form. So that's something to think about. Now, before I go to the other chart, I have already started entering a long position here. Not a full position yet, but I've begun the process. And basically, that's a compromise I've made with myself that, okay, maybe the low is in as of today's low, and that's right around that 47.5 mark. And if that's the case, I want to have something in here in case we start getting, away from this area aggressively. And then, of course, you can add the rest later, and at least you got a piece down here, right? But if we do get that, ideally, this is what I would like to see, not necessarily what will happen, but what I would just love to see happen, is one more leg down here, even if it's just a marginal new low, and that would satisfy the requirements to count this as a very nice, tidy, completed pattern. And then at that point, we'd be looking for a sizable, now even if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, which may actually be, signing or signaling a larger bearish trend unfolding, even if that's true, which I'm not even confident that it is, but let's just pretend that is, we would still be getting, once we completed the 5 down, a sizable corrective 3-wave retracement to the upside. And it could be quite a deep retracement, okay? So I still think this is a good buying opportunity, even if this is the bearish scenario of 5 waves down of a new corrective downtrend starting. Now, again, I'm not so confident about that, and I'll go over to what I kind of favor currently, although I'm certainly not discounting the possibility of 5 waves down. And this is where we have this. This is where we would have an A, B, C down for W. Then we have this X wave bounce. And then we have this A, triangle B, and then C down for a larger WXY double zigzag. And I like this scenario. And this would call this just a double zigzag correction. And then the implication would be that we would do another impulse wave up in 5-wave fashion and make new highs above that 64,000, almost 65,000 level, okay? So that would be the implication of this count. And again, there's not enough information here to be overly confident as to the larger wave count. And let me go back here to this one. And for all you know, at that 64,829, we just finished. Let me go, pardon me here. Let me go to the weekly chart. And for all you know, let me just clear this here. For all you know, we just, so obviously this is the longer term wave count on the weekly chart. For all you know, we just did the wave 3 and we're starting the big wave 4, which may not be, I mean, it'll be probably sizable as far as a price correction. You know, maybe, well, I would say at least a 30 to 50% decline from the high would be pretty reasonable on this chart for a wave 4. But it would also be a significant time correction, or maybe it would only be a significant time correction. Maybe we almost, even if we are in this larger wave 4 corrective scenario, maybe we almost made the lows for the scenario, and then we'll go sideways in a big triangle or something. That's certainly possible, right? Something like this where we, hang on there. And maybe over the weekend I'll go into more detail on the longer term possibilities here. Today I really wanted to focus just on kind of the immediate trading setup at hand. But this is kind of what I would be, you know, a potential scenario. Now let's just do a little measurement here. And usually wave 4 is at least similar in length to wave 2, often longer in fact. But let's just project, you know, a time relationship here. And trend-based fib time. So let's go here. So if wave 4 was just simply, okay, this is making a lot of assumptions here, so just take this with a grain of salt currently. But if we just made this big wave 3 high, if that is in fact the top, just under 65,000, if that's true, then if wave 4 were to take just the same amount of time as wave 2, that would take us into, you know, near the end of December of this year. Okay. So just keep that in mind. And that this could take the form of a triangle. It could take the form of a flat, a zigzag, double, triple zigzag, some other combination. So there's a lot of different corrective patterns. So you don't know what form it's going to take until you get a lot more pattern development. So let's not even worry too much about that right now. But just a little idea to plant before I end the video here in a moment. But for now, I mean, both short-term counts I've shown here, whether it's this five waves down in progress or a WXY double zigzag in progress. Either way, I think we're at or near at least a swing low that we can trade against. And I think at the very least, we'll get a nice corrective retracement, possibly a very significant retracement. I mean, Bitcoin loves to do deep retracements. So let's just say, I mean, let's just pretend the low's already in place. Let's just, for the sake of the example here, let's pretend the low's in place. Okay, so even just a 38.2% retracement, assuming we have the low in place, would be over 54,000. A 618 would get us to 58,000. A 786, you know, over 61,000. And you can even go deeper than that potentially. So just some ideas that even in a bearish, overall bearish scenario where we do 5 waves down, we'll still get a nice swing of some magnitude to the upside. And if this is a more bullish scenario where this is just a WXY double zigzag correction, and we make an actual, you know, significant low that holds, well, then of course we'd be looking at, well, potentially substantial new highs. And again, let's just pretend that the low is in place just for measurement's sake. And we just do some reverse fib projections. And let's do the 1.382 and the 2. Okay. And what would that get us to for some upward targets? Well, the 1.32 would be 71,400 or so. And the 2 would be 82,000 and change. So certainly a lot of upside if this is in fact a near completed corrective pattern. But like I said, even if we are starting a larger, more time-consuming correction, I think either way we have a decent swing low setting up here that will at least offer a partial retracement of this recent decline. All right, I will do some more work over the weekend. There's definitely some things I'd like to comment on. and update. Either tomorrow or Sunday, I'll get it out there. All right, Serial Trader signing off.